We doged the federal government. Not only am I going to explain exactly what happened, but I'm also going to identify what you can learn from our experience and apply it to your federal government contracting journey. Months prior to the election, we were about to win our very first opportunity on Unison with, let's just call them Agency Q. Often, and this is the first big takeaway for each and every one of you watching, often an agency may reach out via email, text message, phone call with follow-up questions. These are buying signals. And what ended up occurring was Agency Q called and said, hey, right now, we are in the process of awarding your company this contract. However, I want to patch in my colleague because we have a few questions for you. It's like, oh, of course, this is perfect. So we went forward and they both basically asked, can you please explain what this opportunity is all about? I said, okay, terrific. Because remember, this was on Unison. Unison is a platform very similar to Sam.Gov, except you must have a cage code in order to gain access to bid on the opportunities located on Unison. It's a reverse auction, so it's very price sensitive. So I went ahead and said, for this opportunity, you're looking for a firm like mine to pay 10 waste management companies every month, and the total amount is a little less than $15,000, because I take it you're looking to save money on government purchase card expenses, manpower expenses, and this is something that we do given we have subcontractors, 1099s, and teaming partners. She said, oh my goodness, that's perfect, that's exactly it. And I responded with, well, what did most organizations think when you reached out? Tip number 2, please have a strong understanding of the statement of work, not only for follow-up questions, but also when you're getting prices from subcontractors for those of you practicing the middleman approach. She responded with, well, a lot of them thought, which I kind of guessed, it was a contract for waste management. It wasn't that at all. It was literally bill processing. That's exactly what they wanted. So Agency Q went ahead and awarded us the contract, our very first on Unison, and we got the ball rolling. We were given 3 months worth of funding. At that time, we received all the contact information for the 10 waste management vendors. And even prior, I made it very clear with this agency, look, we are here to save you time and money. We will use a system called Bill. This video is not sponsored by them. I'm not affiliate of them. This is the platform we have been using now for almost 10 years. And she said, got that, totally understand. And I explained that each vendor would be onboarded to Bill, paid automatically on ACH. It was free on their end to onboard. They would get the money through ACH and free for them to see all of the transactions. It's a beautiful platform that we regularly use with our contractors. We went ahead. My team started to onboard, reach out, and as time went on, we ran into some situations. Because keep in mind, our contract was with Agency Q to simply process the bills. It wasn't with these 10 waste management companies. So a couple of the waste management companies said, no, we like the fact that we're getting paid via credit card from Agency Q. We're not gonna pick up trash anymore. We don't care what you tell us. Okay. However, this contract was put out there to minimize credit card expenses on the side of Agency Q and to minimize man hours. So a handful of them said, we're not gonna do it. This leads us to learning number 3. There are many times where you may be awarded a contract in which there are other contractors unaffiliated with your work. Let's say you get a lawn maintenance contract. Well, what if somebody else is involved in snow removal or somebody else is involved in landscaping? You're just there to cut the grass, but there's somebody else involved in maybe locking and unlocking the building. letting you into the physical location. So when it comes to government contracting, be prepared. You are not the only one out there. We can only do what is within our control. We let Agency Q know. They said, well, they don't want to pick up the trash. It's causing a problem. There's nothing we can do. I was very dumbfounded. So by this time, the election has occurred and DOGE is in full effect. Department of Government Efficiency. And I thought, this makes no sense. Here we are, basically pleading with Agency Q to get these different vendors to join Bill. And I'm talking Waste Management was on there, Republic was on there, Trash Girl was on there, easy peasy, no issue. But then there were these others that said, nope, we've been paid in the past with a credit card, doesn't matter what this KPC firm says, this is what we're going to do. And I can't blame them. That's the other big takeaway. I had nothing but empathy for them because they have a contract with Agency Q. Who knows what that stated? So now all of a sudden, they're now part of this change? So we understood, but we did not want to misuse taxpayer dollars. So I said to my team, we can't continue with this. It's cost effective to use Bill to pay every single one of these vendors through Bill every month, as I described when I first had the phone call with Agency Q. Agency Q couldn't ensure that everyone could get on Bill. They said, it's not possible. You're still gonna have to pay some of these companies using a credit card. I didn't want to do that because that's extra man hours for us, that's extra fees. It didn't make sense. You've put a contract out here to save money, but yet we end up doing the exact same thing that you said you didn't want to do. I understand that. And maybe the people involved had nothing to do with the actual procurement. They were simply exercising the order. I got that. So the other takeaway is having empathy, being able to put yourself in their position. And so we went forward and informed Agency Q that we're not doing this. We ended up doging them. We paid out all the vendors, of course. And you may be wondering by now, well, how did you make money in all of this? We received a monthly fee for processing all of these invoices. That's how it worked. So after 3 months, we both parted ways, and I have to say, it was one of the greatest experiences ever because it was great to partner with vendors who said, no worries, we'll go ahead and join Bill, as well as really understanding the vendors who said, no, we're not doing this. And at the end of the day, we must protect the company and taxpayer dollars. So with that, I love and adore y'all. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Check out Doge.gov if you haven't already. There's tons of information there on Doge as well as on X. If you haven't checked out my book, go to winnerswaybook.com. A ton of free bonuses come when you purchase it through winnerswaybook.com. If you have any comments or questions pertaining to the experience that we've had with Doge and Agency Q, comment below. Please do so. And don't forget, as always, y'all, everything is possible. Until next time, take care.